like a cell generation. Slow jams, conversation, late night stimulation. Call in love session. Love session. Monday night.
Oh, there we are. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land, Instagram Live. This is your girl, Akila Trinae, and you're tuned in to U-Nation Radio's Love Sessions on Morris Media Live. Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to midnight. We talk about the things that are about relationships, and I missed a whole line, but it's okay because our conversation is devoted to bridging the conversation.
She's gonna stop.
Shout
and we're
out
gonna have
to
a small pause, and we're gonna bring it back.
Right. I feel like Dave Chappelle right now on the. And now I'm having a.
Let's gather.
Fart.
Let's gather. Okay.
Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary. I'm having a brain fart. I feel like Dave Chappelle. If you watch this, shout out to them on Netflix. So, we're going to rewind. Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to midnight. Our conversation is devoted to bridging the conversation gap between men and women as a means to combat the war on relationships. We cover the topics that are often overlooked, unmentioned, and outright taboo to shed light on our insecurities and idiosyncrasies as a way to humanize the love experience. Our conversation is real. It's refreshing and it's relevant. You're guaranteed to walk away from a show with greater insight about yourself and others around you. At the end of the day, we all echo the same sentiment. I need love. Class, you all, is now in session.
Wow. Every time it gets me.
Right.
It gets me. It just brings me in. It's beautiful. Hey, guys, since I can't go live on my phone.
You can go live on mine.
I need to get it together.
Sharon is Karen.
Struggles, whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys to our lovely sponsors. Since Akila didn't give me like a cool intro, like, I'm going to kick it to Sugarfoot or nothing. So
right. I'm going to kick it to
Sugarfoot's going to give it to herself.
Right. I mean, that's how we have to do as
right
women,
now.
As independent women, right? We got to hold it down for ourselves.
Nothing. Okay. So, anyways, I would love to give a lovely shout out to our beautiful, lovely, awesome sponsor whom we
is not here.
Don't have current.
Don't y'all worry about that right there.
So, Aqua Hydrate. Shout out to Charles who not here either. Hey, so we're gonna, move on to the wonderful Revision Publishing since she is here.
Yes.
And go ahead and check out her book, guys, Beyond the Hurt, which is available on Amazon.com. She definitely won't let you forget about that.
Right.
Don't worry. She'll shout out a couple more times tonight.
I'm sure.
So that's just the
because
first.
Beyond the Hurt is amazing, And when you do get Beyond the Hurt, then you can really read it. Or if you're before the hurt and you want to get behind.
You want to get in front of the behind?
Right.
You want to get in front before you get behind? Got it. That's love. That's nice. Okay.
Right.
And then we're going to shout out to our other wonderful sponsor, Dear Uzuri, being spelled Uzuri. Dear Uzuri, which means beauty in Swahili language. And that's a movement to encourage women to properly heal from internalized pain and practice healthy communication. You guys can check them out on Instagram at Dear Uzuri, which again is spelled Uzuri. And
you want me to do social media?
Sure, and then I'll take the numbers.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and since
again.
now I can actually talk about Charles since Charles isn't here.
Right.
So I would normally kick it to my man Dance Hustle, but he's not here tonight.
He's somewhere dancing.
Right, doing what he because he'll tell you the whole story if he was here. He started when he was a kid, but can't really dance now. Did it, whatever. So now I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to Miss Akila Trinae so she can give you guys her social media.
Hey, it's me. I missed you guys. So our social media. So we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And we're also on Twitter. One day we might get a Snapchat if it's necessary. But right now, you can follow us on Instagram at UNation Radio. You can follow us on Facebook and like our post and also find out information about our shows and other things that we're doing. And you can tweet us back, retweet us, or follow us on Twitter at UNation_radio. And you can go on YouTube if you want to see some of our previous shows. You can also go on YouTube. You can search Love Sessions. You can search Morris Media Live. And you can also... what else can you do?
You said it all, didn't you?
Okay. And if you want to watch the show live right now, like if you're live here and you want to watch live on YouTube, you can go to Morris Media Live page and we should be right there. Or you can click on Watch Live on the page and then click... I'm trying to see if it works this way.
She's trying to give you a tutorial while teaching herself.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Well, only because somebody asked. And so, so if you click on the YouTube part of Morris Media Live, and then it'll take you directly to the YouTube page. And then if you see to the right, it says Love Sessions Live Now. And you can just click on that and wazoom. Here we are.
Wazoom. Never heard that.
Trying to
nice. Come up with that just now?
Teach y'all something. Learn you something real quick.
Why, thanks.
Just in case you want to know who was talking, here she is again, because she's going to give you some information you need.
Oh, is that my kickback? You gotta work on your kickbacks, because my kickbacks is being dope right now. Your kickbacks is not lit.
So I'm about to slide it over.
Do something.
Because I was talking about social media.
Do something.
To DM.
Okay, I'm going to just take it myself.
You know your initials, right? Or DM?
Yeah, I know.
Just in case they didn't know. I'm sliding to DM. Got it.
So, if you guys would like to join the conversation, which we're going to talk about a lot of cool things, I would say tonight. A lot of hot topics, right? Open topics. So, you guys can also chime in on any topics, anything you guys would like to hear about or talk about. You guys can call in at 323-293-3375. So once again, 323-293-3375. So make sure you guys call in, join the conversation, give us a topic, do whatever you need to do, and also hit us up on social media, and we'll shout you out that way too.
Okay, so I know one of the things that we've been trying to get to and we haven't been able to get to, but I'm just going to throw it out there now. And
oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to throw it out there now. And just see what you guys think about it, and then we'll come back to it. It's a lot going on in the world, but I'm going to pause with that for a second and just ask this question. This is our Monday question of the day. It says, you and your roommate have a 2-bedroom apartment. You both pay. You're just giving fingers to my Instagram.
Because I'm trying to get my Instagram live up so they can hear the question too. So start
over. Okay, y'all. Here I am. Monday question of the day. You and your roommate have a 2-bedroom apartment. You both pay $900 a piece for rent, totaling $1,800. A few months later, the boyfriend, or let's say the girlfriend, because we don't want to be biased, right?
Question of the day for you guys that just chimed in.
The roommate moves into the bedroom. How much should each person pay? A, roommate A pays $900 while roommate B and boyfriend girlfriend split $900, or B, everyone pays $600 and equal 3-way split. So Destiny, you
want me to go first?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I'm kind of in between, but I'm definitely leaning more towards everyone pays equal, because we had an agreement in the beginning that it was equal, right? But now that you guys move in, all of a sudden you get to just pay half the rent. I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. But right. It would kind of depend on which side I'm on, I feel like.
Oh, so if it's your boyfriend, you're like,
you might want to be like, what? Like, I'm sharing a room, though. But then again, it's like y'all are one. You guys are in a relationship, so we should just split
But
it all.
y'all don't have an equal income. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not married.
I say we split it.
Okay.
I feel like that just might be the fair thing to do. If you went into an agreement with someone and then all of a sudden your boyfriend or girlfriend has to move in, split the rent. Split it evenly.
I feel like splitting the rent evenly would be fair. That would definitely be the fair thing to do. However, I just know when I was in college, I had a roommate, and you know, we had a roommate that moved in. Now, mind you, this person's boyfriend did not pay anything. However,
nah, that's dead.
What he
that's
tried to do was stay in the room. I wasn't having that.
Okay.
What I'm not going to do is be trying to sleep and then hear y'all all over in the next bed. And it's a twin bed. So what are y'all doing anyway? Get your life. So no. So I said, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to move that out of the room. I don't care if you go to the living room. If that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. And that's what they did.
Oh,
they
but he moved into the same room as you?
Yeah, he was trying to.
Oh, see, no.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not going to have a roommate and your boyfriend moves in. We share, share one room?
Exactly.
Dead.
Exactly. So technically with what you're saying, you know, everybody plays equal. Nah.
No, but I think that this is a 2-bedroom, though.
But what I'm
they
just
each got
saying,
their own
like,
room.
with the money, you get what I'm saying? With the money situation, I'm turning the money into people. So it's like, we're not going to equally share this room.
Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm saying you and your dude, you going to stay over there.
What does this have to do with okay, so
They built
is everybody paying $300 or
$300? $600.
right? Or $600
total.
Or is so basically it's saying like 900, but the couple only splits a 900. You got to pay a full 900.
No. I agree with you. No. Wait, do I?
So that's what it's saying.
600.
So if
I'm paying $600.
You and Marcus thought y'all was about to move in my place,
right?
You moved Marcus in your room. We got our own rooms. Now y'all get to split 900, and I got to pay a full
600.
900.
I'm paying 300. He paying 300. We splitting 600. You got to find somebody to. You got to find somebody to help you pay your part.
Wow. You see how she done flipped the question and made it something else? That's not even an option. That's not even what we talking about. I made a whole new scenario.
I did. But you know, that's how people are. That is how people are. People will try to fandangle their way. And like I was saying, back to the roommate situation, they built a fort in the living room with the couches, and that's where he stayed. But I was like, that's cool, because then I had the room to myself.
You was all grins just now. Good Lord. Okay.
It works out better that way. So I don't know what you guys say, if it should be even, or, you know, should the couple, what if the couple, well, no, if the couple's married, they shouldn't be
with somebody.
Rooming
with
somebody else, but
it'd be time to get your own place.
It'd be interesting to know if a married couple moved into like the parents' house, should they, for like financial reasons, should they be responsible to split the rent or the mortgage or whatever equally with the other adults?
I don't know if I don't know about with parents. With parents on that end, I feel like maybe it should be like, of course they would like pay you rent, but I don't know if it would be equal to what the parents are paying. I don't even think parents. You think parents would do that?
Some parents do. Some parents are like, look, you're going to be here, you're going to be working, you need to help contribute.
I mean, I understand contribute, but pay literally half the mortgage.
Right.
If that's the case, I wouldn't move in with you because I was trying to save some money, obviously, if I had to move in with you.
Exactly. But I heard someone say, and I think it was a preacher, but he was saying that with that scenario, I think someone did it for him, but the money he was paying was actually saved. So technically, at the very end, when it was time for that person to move out, the parent gave them back everything that they had paid, but it was like they almost was saving it for them. So while they were thinking that they were helping and contributing and paying, they were, stacking it for them.
Shout out to his parents.
Stacking it for them.
Shout out.
I said, I think that's the best solution to a situation like that, because you get to stack. You don't even know you're stacking. but it's like you get that extra little bonus. So while you're trying to save and help out, because they're already able to pay.
How many parents is doing that?
I don't know.
Or are you saying he set that up with his parents?
No. He didn't know.
See, that's
he
what
didn't
I'm
know
saying.
that's what they were doing behind the scenes. But I'm thinking about it. If you're a parent,
That would be dope.
and you
though.
already have enough money to pay the mortgage, right? That, you know, you're able to just save
Be in a
that,
piggy bank on
you
the
know,
low.
for
That's
them,
lit.
and then give it to them. But that brings me to another point where I was reading something on Facebook, and it was talking about how other cultures, how they save money and how they're able to, you know, invest in these businesses and things of that nature. And the way that they're able to do that is because they live together. You know what I mean? Sisters, brothers, uncles, nieces, nephews, they all live together in like one home. And then they're able to save money. So you pay one mortgage, you save money, and then you're able to kind of stack on the side and then go and invest into their businesses or things like that. And, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, in our culture, we don't really do that a lot. You know, we don't like to live together, you know?
At all.
So it's like, you know, they were given the
At all.
they gave the scenario like, sister, you know, lives over here in this city, pays $1,800 in rent. Parents live in this city over here, they pay, you know, a $2,000 mortgage. Brother lives over here, he's, you know, bougie, and he pays,
He's bougie,
you know,
and he pays.
$2,700 in rent, right? And all of that money could be one pot in one huge house, you know, with some really good real estate, and
Invest in real estate, guys.
then they're able to really get some stuff done. So, you know, shout out to those of us who know how to run the game, because a lot of us are trying to do it the wrong way.
You
You
gonna
know?
give them a rundown on how to run the game? You got a summary?
Look, I'm still trying
Quick
to figure
summary.
it out, but
Quick summary.
I'm gonna give you a quick
Words from the
tidbit.
wise.
I went to a book event. So I joined, you know, thanks to my husband, because he's the one that introduced me to the group or whatever, but it's a writing group. And this writing group is predominantly white, older white people. And so initially I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, right? You know, uncomfortable a little bit to be around, you know, this other culture. Because, you know, like as African Americans, sometimes we get really comfortable, you know, around our people and people who look like us and all of that. But I said, you know what? No. I really want to take this opportunity because there are things that I don't know. There are things that, you know, just to put it very plainly, there are things that older white people know that we don't. You know what I mean? Knowledge that they have that we're not privy to.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because we're not growing up in their home. You know, I'm privy to our information
Of
because
course.
I grew up in it. And so this one lady, I don't remember her name, but she was talking about, she wrote this book, and you guys can Google it. So yeah, I'm giving her free publicity. How to be a millionaire when you're $1 million short. And she was saying that a lot of people were basically asking her, like, how are you able to live the lifestyle that you live with not a lot of money, right? Because you're not a millionaire, but how are you able to go to these shops in Beverly Hills and get your hair done? How are you able to stay in these 5-star hotels and travel and do all this stuff? And so basically she wrote this book, which is a guide to the way that she's able to do it. Because she's like, she's getting her hair done for free. She's traveling for free. She's doing all this stuff for free. And I'm thinking in my head, like, wow, we're out here cashing out to travel, cashing out to get your hair done, cashing out to do this stuff. There are people in this world who know how to do this stuff, and they're not paying all this money. They're finding other people to invest in what they got going on and don't even have to spend a dime. So while you trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, they out here got
Robbing Peter
you
and
know?
Paul going on the trip. Hell, that's what they doing.
No,
They
Peter
done
and-
robbed Peter, Paul,
No.
Sam.
Peter and Paul is you know, using that money to fund they stuff. And so one thing that she was sharing about was that she had an opportunity, because she had self-published like I did, She had self-published, and she had this opportunity with this lady, and she was kind of telling her like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't take self-published authors. And so, but at the time, she had created her own publishing company, similar to like what I did with Revision Publishing. But the lady, she had that business with another person. So what she did was she was like, she quickly went, made up a website, kind of did all the little background stuff that she needed to do to present her self-published company to this lady, polished it up. She looked it up. She was like, okay, it's legit. And ended up giving her, or like signing her, whatever she did, giving her that opportunity because she hustled. She played the game. She was like, she didn't want to lie to the lady and, you know, tell her like, oh, I'm what it really was. But she went and kind of fandangled her way. And basically by the story she was telling, she did a lot of fandangling. And I said, man, if we only knew. You know how they say, like, you know, if you want to hide something from us, put it in a book. But that's like real talk. Like, there is so much information and so much stuff. And I'm talking about beyond, not the hurt, but beyond Google and social media and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of good information locked and tucked away in books that we don't have access to. And
yeah, I do wish that a lot of people of our culture did look at, like, being around Caucasians, as they would say, being around them and thinking like, I hate being around them. Instead, taking that opportunity to be around them to really learn their minds and try to see where they come from, so we can just.
There's
like,
a
we're
give,
just
there's
so
a give and a
powerful,
take,
like,
with everything.
Yeah, like just see their world, see where their mind is coming from, see what's going on there, and there's just like an insight there. Like, I don't even know how to really explain it, but like, use it as an opportunity. Like, if you could work in that world, you can work in any world, honestly,
right?
Because they kind of run our society. So, if you use the opportunity to just learn the game,
right?
Play the game,
work the system,
and then they think they playing you, but you holding the controller. Honestly, it's that easy. It's really that simple. But people gotta look at it like that.
We're not gonna, say as if there aren't really things that are holding us back or keeping us from being able to do certain things. I know one of the things that honestly, my heart goes out to those who lost their lives in Las Vegas and everything that's pretty much been going on over the past, 24 hours?
It's just been crazy, like 24 to 48 hours.
Right. And I was at work and I was reading on CNN about the man who, to me, will remain nameless because you don't get a name. You know what I'm saying? You don't get,
that's deep.
Fame or popularity or any type of ground to stand on. But I'm reading and I'm hearing how they're describing him. I'm hearing how they're describing the situation, and I feel like they're being so careful. They being the news, CNN, very careful to
how they
not vilify him. And stay in neutral ground. And, and after watching the video and seeing the people losing their lives, and I'm sitting there and I feel my body getting heavy, just really looking at this situation and still feeling like, and I hate, I hate to always go there or make it, sometimes about race, but it's like, if it were anybody else, any other, and I mean any other culture.
It would have been so many things, because this is literally a massacre and they're just calling it nothing.
Right. So,
it's just
our president,
nothing. It's nothing.
He gets to call Colin Kaepernick a son of a bitch.
Right.
And just vilify these athletes. You get what I'm saying? But this man, who shall remain nameless, is just, he did an evil thing, but he won't call it terrorism. He won't call it an act of terror.
It's nothing.
And you can't help but recognize that, and you can't help but have that affect you. Let me see. Do you think this shooting happened to keep focus away from Puerto Rico? And why hasn't anyone labeled him a terrorist? So that's my question too. And I believe that our president, because he is the president, period, point blank, he should spend more of his time focusing on the issues. Yes, he should definitely acknowledge what he did as far as what the tragedy that happened on last night. But also, the Puerto Ricans, they're Americans, American citizens, and we don't hear about it. And shout out to my sister who she had posted a question again, like, what happened to the DC girls? What happened to the water in
Flint? People so quickly forget about these things. And that's why I get so upset, because all of a sudden something happens and then everybody is so woke, so quick. Then 2 weeks later they sleep. And I'm confused. Like, did you forget? Or did you just want to be mad? Happened? You just wanted to ride the wave of the anger? Like, what is it? Because 2 weeks later, nobody's talking about it.
The dick challenge and the pussy challenge came
and all that stuff came out.
And, refocus.
You on social media for that D. Like, relax. How about read a book for the D? Like, do something. Educate yourself for the D. Maybe I should make a rap. Maybe.
Yes, Ferguson too. I mean, it's so much. Honestly, it's so much that is happening. It's so much that's going on that it's even hard to keep track.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And if I were president, which I would never want to be, but I feel like I was sharing this also with my sister. Like, there should be money. Like, when all this relief, like, did we not know as a country that natural disasters will happen? Do we not know that things are going to happen? So, like, is there not a fund for, oops, what happens if this happens? Or, no,
but all
this
of a sudden
happens.
People got to raise money as soon as it happens.
Right, exactly.
But they have hurricane season. So where is the money being accumulated all year for the season that is going to come
Where's
around?
the money that's going to the Flint,
First of all,
Michigan,
Red Crossing gave up no money.
Water situation. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no money.
There should be, from the government down, there should be groups of people. There should be departments that, hey, look, Flint, y'all go handle that. Here's the team. Work on that. Now, we don't know. It could be. You know what I mean? But this is just us who rely on the media to give us feedback and updates on what's going on, and we're not hearing
Which everything isn't being put there. You got to go find it, but how are you really going to find it when it's being hidden?
So I just feel like I'm happy that the debate is happening. I'm happy that people are talking about it. I know it's something that's uncomfortable, something that recently just happened. I got an email, and I know it was coming from, and just, when you get to work stuff, you got to kind of like tread lightly. So today, we're starting the Pledge of Allegiance in school, in high school, every day, supposedly. I said the timing
is
to
terrible.
Me is real off, and I let my principal know, like, hey, I'm uncomfortable, with this. And I know that when some of the other people, we talked about it or whatever, and they were uncomfortable and not happy with it either. But I'm just thinking in my head now, right? So now I have to deal with this at work. So, whereas it used to just be a conversation, like when we all get together at the family gathering or the barbecue and we're all talking.
Space, but now it's there.
Now, yes, salutes to Mr. Kaepernick, but now this conversation is really traveling to every part of the aspect of your life. We have to talk about this at work, not just because, it's popular, but literally because people are affected. Now we have to do this Pledge of Allegiance. So now we have to have a conversation. We have to do a dialogue about what this all means, because if students start asking questions like, oh, no, I'm not doing this, or, hey, teacher, what do you think? You know what I mean? The teacher can't say, oh, I don't have an opinion about this. Like, no, because that's the whole point. So that's what I was sharing.
I feel like they don't teach enough like life things in school.
Well, girl, no.
Like, school does nothing to really teach you about life.
Hey, scoot in. You're right. You're like so far away. We have Mr. Dontrell Detroit, who just stepped in the building, stepped in the place.
Building. What's good?
So welcome. We're so happy to have you here. A week off your birthday. Right? Yeah. So, we're just bless you. She's dab sneezing.
Thank you. Y'all seen it?
Right. Okay. I saw you try to be cute. Mm-hmm. We're just talking about some of the things that are going on, and honestly, just to let you know, this is an open forum pretty much today. This is Love Session, so at any point, like if you want to post something, shout out to what you say.
Yeah, I'm saying who is is that an I or an L? Is that an I or L?
If there's something that you want to join our conversation, we have the platform. So, part of our responsibility is to really just stop and pause and, talk about some of these things. It all, at the end of the day, like I said, we all echo the same sentiment that we need love. So love comes in many forms. And one of those forms is the way that we interact with each other and humanity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think I'm learning more that in this, when I talk about humanizing the love experience, is that really people just want to be able to connect, with somebody else. And right now, people are feeling disconnected. And when people are feeling disconnected, then that's when they begin to, act out and or, start trying to move mountains and things, and what I'm trying to say is like shake up the foundation when people start to get disconnected. Yes, Detroit?
Nah, I'm just trying to follow you.
Well, I want to shout out Elbowed Up. I got it right before you told me to. By the way. Elbowed. That was clever, by the way. I like your social media name. But they said that school teaches you to be like them, not to be you. Right. You said you meant not, or you really meant now to be you. No, you didn't mean that. All right, so not to be you. I'm going to go with not to be you.
You auto-corrected.
You're welcome. Anytime. So how do y'all feel about that statement?
Well, as as someone who works in education, school.
Mm-hmm. Because, I know you work in it, but you know.
I do know, and it's a tough place to be in. So many things are like running through my head right now. Like you guys don't understand that my husband wanted me to watch this the documentary that's on Netflix, the Khalif Browder story.
I haven't heard of that one yet, but I will go watch it.
Every time I think to go and watch it, I'm like, Did you watch it?
I watched 2 episodes. It's heavy. It's heavy.
You said Khalif Browder?
Yes.
Okay, I need to watch
that.
That's the guy that got incarcerated, correct?
Yes, he was the young man who was wrongfully... He was arrested allegedly for robbery, stealing a backpack from another individual that had money and a camera and what have you. He was arrested. He was told that he was going to go to the police station, get questioned, and most likely get released.
I think I know who this person is. He spent 3 years in prison, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he spent 3 years in prison. Then 2 years after, he ended up killing himself.
Yes.
I actually do know about this, but I didn't watch that documentary. So I didn't know there was a documentary though. So now I need to see it.
For the way you just described that, it's like, man, that's crazy, right? Like, that's so sad.
No, because I watched something else where his story was in that other documentary.
Yeah,
and they only gave us
in the 13th.
Pinch of it.
It was in 13.
I watched that. And
but what I'm saying is, the reaction would be like, "Oh man, that's crazy." That's
but I'm sure it's way deeper.
When
than
you
that.
watch the documentary, like I said, I watched with a heavy heart, and I'm answering your question, elbowed up, about teachers, because in schools, teachers, staff members, faculty members play a huge part,
of course,
in that whole process and just the role. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about us being labeled, right? And his situation is he had priors, right? He had a background. You know, he was gang affiliated. He came from the hood. He grew up foster care. He was adopted.
Of course, they use those things against him.
You know, right. So while he's telling this story about being innocent, you get what I'm saying? He has a record that claims or that would prove that maybe you're not innocent. You know, you're innocent in this particular situation, but you're gang affiliated.
Right.
You come from the hood. You've been suspended from school before. You've been kicked out. You fought. You've taken drugs before. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, he grew up in the hood.
I was say aside from the drug part, nothing
He grew up in the
was
hood.
illegal.
Those are things that some good kids really have to go through from just growing up
school
in the
does
hood.
not teach you how to manage credit or do all those things or even just survive.
Start saving money.
But that's where, personally, my role that I feel comes in because I like to be honest. I like to try and give them a little bit more because look,
You're the blessing to you're the one blessing to the school system.
I realized in watching that documentary, I was realizing like really more of what my purpose is and why I'm in the position that I'm in at the school, like real life, because it's so deep and your heart goes out for the kids, especially us, the ones that look the boys. Really, it's the boys.
Especially the men.
Especially the
because
men.
they're the ones that even on some occasions I have been guilty of like, nah, just, you know, the whatever. They bad. They, you know, they
not
this,
thinking
they
it's
that.
probably something way deeper than that.
Which it is, but it's hard sometimes because you also have to let them bump their heads. You know what I mean? You have to
it's
let
like
them
that. You
have those
which is- yeah.
consequences because otherwise they may not learn. You get what I mean? But then for some of them, you wish and you hope that they don't have to go through what he went through
To
in
learn.
order to get it.
Right.
Because he got messed up in the process mentally. And it's a lot of mental baggage that we have. So kind of connecting everything that I was talking about, even with, you know, our president and the situation that happened last night and that documentary and just things in general with reading and having knowledge and us spending way more than we got to try and prove or to be accepted or be a part, is that we have a whole lot of stuff going on with us, you know, that doesn't necessarily get addressed, and we don't tap into it because oftentimes through school we're taught to suppress those things.
Of course. You
And
gotta-
to let those things go and to keep it moving and don't, you know, worry about it. Don't harp on it. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't become a victim. But nobody is getting like the healing part.
And that's because us as well, like our culture alone, we don't take that stuff seriously. We don't take it seriously whatsoever. If somebody really comes to you and they're like, yo, I'm really feeling this way. Like, and it's kind of crazy. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm feeling this way. Maybe something's wrong. I don't know. It's just, oh, you'll be all right.
Right.
It's okay. Chill out. Probably a rough time. But you don't ever sit and take that stuff seriously. Or you think it's funny. Like, oh, you tripping.
Right.
It's never like, okay, maybe it's really something. Maybe we should really sit and talk. Maybe you should just get help. Like I saw a quote on Twitter, I think it was the other day, that so many people are so quick to just pass by on somebody and just label them like, oh, you're weird or something's wrong with you. And we pass on good people who just needed some help. And it's true. It's really true. We say we want the help. Well, some of us do, but a lot of us just don't get it. Like our culture, I personally believe, just doesn't take mental health seriously in any way.
So, to your point, because I'm often out of school, either tutoring or coaching, and I just had the conversation with a friend the other day about how things are systemic with us, and then the other thing is because it's systemic, we play into it and don't do enough to reroute ourselves. And so one of the things that I don't like doing is, because of where we come from and knowing what our males go through, I try to treat all the kids as if they were my kid, and try to, although you have to let a kid bump his head, as you have to say, I think there's a difference between a bump of the head and then a fracture of the head. And I think our community often lets our kids fracture or break themselves too far beyond repair, as to where different cultures shield their kids and allow them. You can get a bump, but it won't be a fracture. Like your credit won't be. They won't let your credit get so bad that it's beyond repair.
So when you wait, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so how heavy is that though to try to treat every single kid like they're your kid?
Well, I'm saying to the point, like if you're in the know of what's going on, like if that kid allows you in, and then understanding what the kid goes, like case in point, there was this teacher that went to a coach. She was teaching a lock. She came from another school, and she said, within the first few months, she wanted to get out of there, like out of lock. She was just like, I don't like these kids. These kids have little respect, but for whatever reason, she couldn't get out. Month in, 2 months in, and when she finally got her chance to leave, whatever it was, now she's like, I won't leave. She's like, there's no way I can leave. Mm-hmm. She was like, because, and this is a white lady, you know what I'm saying? She's not from the area. And she's like, these kids are so special, but go through so much you never know. And she was like, and I was ready to write some of these kids so off. She was like, but now it will weigh heavy on my conscience knowing what they don't know, you know what I'm saying, and knowing what they don't have. She was like, and the lack of guidance that they have, and knowing what I know and what she would do for her kids, and coming from a different school, knowing that the help and resources that they had to help guide those is different. She was like, it would be like literally abandoning kids. And
so when you say that we allow the kids to be fractured, like what do you mean by that?
Like we give up on them too easy. Like we know, especially, and that's my issue with people who are from the neighborhood that don't come back and teach within the neighborhood, because
that's crazy.
You know exactly what these kids are facing, and
to a certain extent, depending.
But it's like you came from here, so you should get it a little bit more, and now you acting like all of a sudden you're not from here, or you don't want to, or like you too good to go back all of a sudden.
It's not even that. It's just like some people just don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too heavy. You know what I'm saying? And I understand it, but then again, if you understanding it, if you don't come back and make the situation lighter, then everybody else is going to be too heavy for everybody else. My girlfriend, she was teaching at Locke. She had an assignment at Locke, right? Mm-hmm. And she's just a kid that her first 2 days there, she was like, I hate this kid. And this kid was giving her hell. And even at a new assignment, she talked about a kid where it was like the kid was just bad. And she comes back and then, a few days later, and it's almost like once these kids understood that you were going to be there and you were going to be present, then everything changed. And that's what the most of us wanted. Mm-hmm. But the high rate of
somebody's going to be
right. The high rate of turnover, like is like going in the lock, they'll knowingly disrespect you knowing that you'll be a sub because you're not going to be there.
Period.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the minute they find out that you're a permanent sub, then.
But I've watched, and this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I've watched students have a black man walk into the room, right, sub, and it's immediate respect. Now, if he opens his mouth and he may have a soft voice or he's not firm, then he'll lose him. But if he comes in there and he's strict, and he, lets them know this is what it is. The students, males and females, all cultures will immediately have instant respect for him. I've never seen that happen with anyone other than black men because of the presence, right, that they have.
Correct.
Black women, it's more like you kind of got to go mama on them for them to like give you that, but it's not something that comes automatic.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Time.
Like, and so with knowing that and just even in kind of what we're talking about, I feel like if there were more, and I know a lot of people like to refer to alpha males, if there were more of those alpha males with the presence, with the knowledge, with the experience, who took that upon themselves as that responsibility, because of the fact that there are a lot of men who are not necessarily in the home, not present to help rear and discipline and all these, things for these kids, that they end up getting lost along the way. But if men, would step up, I feel like that would help a lot.
If that's true, but it's people in general, because a lot of the women that I know that are there, that consistently be there, it's not. And the thing is, with kids, you understand, like, it's not shown. It's a delayed gratification type of thing. So it's definitely not shown on the front end. One of our kids, we got an email a few weeks ago. One of our kids he acts out more than anybody on our team, on the football team. And he gets on the radio station because he was one of the kids of the week. And he spoke so highly of our head coach, so profound. You would never know this kid was so articulate by the way he acts. But then we went to go check his grades, and he had a 4.0. You know what I'm saying? And at that moment, we realized that the kid's brilliant. He's just afraid to be a leader. But
why would you think that he wasn't?
It's not that we never thought that he wasn't. It's the way that he's the way that he portrayed himself.
But that's what I'm saying. That's also a place that we fall into too. Just linking it so everybody understands and makes sense, because I'm going back to the man who shall remain nameless.
Right.
It was almost like everybody said, not everybody, but the guy who sold one of the guns that he had to him, the brother, the whatever. Oh, we would have never known. He never showed any signs of, this behavior. Like
but you buying all these guns.
He's nice. Oh, the neighbor. He's such a kind man. He's nice. He's all these different things. And just as a person who works in the school system, this is what we fall into. The expectation of excellence doesn't look like us. And when we find it, we're surprised by it, and we're excited, and we're shocked, and we're like, oh my God. And why should it be that reaction? We're already predisposed to a lot of these thoughts and these ideas. And honestly, that is part of the actual problem, because potential and all that other stuff, it has a face.
With this particular student, it had everything with him.
And I'm not even necessarily talking about him, but even those behaviors that we exhibit are sometimes cultural.
But that's exactly what I'm getting at with people that are from the place not coming back. We know, because we from there, we know exactly what these kids are, so we don't give up on them. We don't allow them to push us around or push us away, as to where somebody that's not from here takes it a totally different way. It's like knowing somebody. It's like me knowing you, and you throwing your shade or whatever. But I get it. I know where it's coming from. It's either truth.
But honestly, there are a lot of people that aren't that sympathetic. Like, I see a lot of us.
Oh, no, true.
True. Oh, you just.
Right, and so that's
no connection.
So no one. That's why our kids are where they are today, because a lot of us don't have empathy, and we get out, we get accredited, we get a good job, and then we never look back. Never look back. And then one of the ladies at my school, she was from here, went to Taft, and had a chance to go and teach there, but she was like, I refuse to go and teach there. I'm glad I got my education from there, whatever. But I know what I know, and I know what these kids do not have. So why? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us don't think like that. Now, unfortunately, at my present school, we have a lot of black men, young black men.
That's good.
Mr.
Nice.
QUE, I think. Is that his name? The
math?
The math teacher. He works at our school.
Oh, okay.
He's there. He's teaching chemistry or biology or something like that.
Wow.
They're at our school. But there are tons of black men in our school.
That's
so
good.
we don't have that problem, but around the school, it sucks. Like, it literally sucks. And kids grow up so fast today because of what they have in their hand, what they have in their phone. It's like you can completely write somebody off because of what they're going through.
Yeah.
And it's just not fair. It's just not fair. We didn't have to deal with it growing up, but We got to have more tolerance.
I did want to shout out Elbowed Up. He said, we kind of come up as tough because historically we have had our backs against the wall. As boys, we are born with 2 balls and 2 strikes, leaving no room for feelings or acknowledgement for the mental issues. And instead of giving attention to the issue, we are taught to shake it off.
It's true, because with men, when they're like in tune with their feelings, when they're like in touch with that stuff, people find that weird.
Women find it weird.
Like, that's not normal. Like
women find it weird,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, not only
it's not the norm because they're taught not to.
And who's teaching us this?
The mother.
My thing is, why is that the normal?
I don't know. And the fathers. I'm sorry, mothers and the fathers.
It's just some of our norms. I just don't like. Like, how come like the ghetto crazy girl is the normal black girl, but the educated one isn't? Or how come? I don't know. That's just how I be feeling sometimes.
You're gonna ask a question.
Well, it's frowned upon.
What? You forgot it.
All of it. You know what I'm saying? For if a dude hurts, you know what I'm saying? Now he comes across the. Like, I seen a meme the other day. It was like, it said, when I finally find the guy that listens, that's in tune with his feelings, that has a good job, clean teeth, nice and sensitive.
Clean teeth.
Yeah. She puts her hands on her shoulder and say, "You're going to be my friend. You're going to be my best friend." You know what I'm saying? Like all the every qualities that you want. Like, it has nothing to do with what's attractive to you. And so, like, I even tell my son, like, if something hurts your feelings, go ahead and talk about it. I don't care about you crying. Mm-hmm. If it hurts your feelings, you know what I'm saying? But talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't wallow in it, but talk about it. And we don't get a chance to express ourselves enough. You know, women, I think I told you this a while back, and it's like, men are sensitive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or respect my feelings. You know.
Well, you used to say that men were not sensitive. It was you or SB, one of the two.
Well, it was saying women would say, be sensitive to my feelings. You know what I'm saying? But then don't be sensitive. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
right.
That don't add up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if he has the ability to be sensitive to your feelings, then he also has to be sensitive to his own feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a two-way street that really sucks, that we don't necessarily get credit for. But we'll continue this conversation when we get into after our break. We have the beautiful poetess in the back. She is about to cue what's up. Yeah.
Is this a beach?
The ratchet guy, yes, Mr. Wine. I throw it up and let my other hand hang. Wipe the sweat off my head, watch me do my thing. Go ahead, nigga, get off. Go ahead, nigga, get off. That's what they call me, nigga. The ratchet guy, throw it in the air, watch me knock it out the park. She got a banker shit, cool little bra, but I'm not gonna cuff, cause that's not my job. Nigga, I spent 4 on the ring. Finna get off, nigga, give me 10 feet. She put her hands on her knees. If her booty get the bounce, you can blame it on me. She get wet when she see me, like she hopped in the pool with no bikini. Gonna make a circle, yeah, I'm finna get off. You can see me hop in, hop out, yeah, something like a genie. Now move your body to the right, throw your hands in the air like you finna fly kite. I throw them up like a nigga tryna fight. Then bring them back down like you tryna ride a bike. Now get off. I pull back, then I let my arms swing. The ratchet guy, yes, Mr. Wine. I throw it up and let my other hand hang. Wipe the sweat off my head, watch me do my thing. Go ahead, nigga, get off. Go ahead, nigga, get off. Love, her booty bouncing like what? Yeah, I'm pulling like my clutch got stuck. Yeah, I done came up and I'm getting off like my stop done came up. I'm turning it up, now pick it up, now drop it low, now lift it up. I said, go and get it up. Throw it in the air, watch me hit it like what? Look, yeah, I'm finna get off. Party going up, so you know it's finna lift off. Her booty jumping like crisscross. Sonic and freeze, finna flip her like a flip toss. Now move your body to the right, throw your hands in the air like you finna fly kite. I throw them up like a nigga tryna fight. Then bring them back down like you tryna ride a bike. Now get off. I pull back, then I let my arms swing. The ratchet guy, yes, Mr. Wine. I throw it up and let my other hand hang. Wipe the sweat off my head, watch me do my thing. Go ahead, nigga, get off. Go ahead, nigga, get off.
All right, and we are back, and Detroit's on the phone, and so it's your girl Akila Trinae, and we're here on Love Sessions. We're talking about just some hot topic things, some things that are going on in our world, in our community, whatever's on your mind. If you want to join the conversation, you can do so by calling in 293. My apologies. 3375.
You got it?
I was like, somebody help me.
3375.
Where's my help at? Goodness.
We thought you had it. We thought you was the professional.
Right.
Well, you came with it.
Ooh, sounds like haters. See, that's the problem with our community.
3375.
You know what I mean? We always trying to
Way to throw that out there
tear
real
each other
quick.
down every opportunity that we get,
True.
So as we were talking about before the break, and today I can't really speak. It's just really weird. But we want to send our condolences, our thoughts, our prayers to the families, to the victims, to the loved ones of those who were injured and or killed in the recent terrorist events that took place in Las Vegas. Definitely something that has shaken, for sure, our country. I know what they were saying on CNN is that a lot of the victims were from Southern California. So as we know, Southern California is not very far from Vegas. And so a lot of people kind of, weekend, I'm about to go to Vegas really quick. And so I can imagine that, Vegas is going to be on hold from some people's travel plans, probably.
Well, I go there on the 21st.
For a little while.
They even thought there was a shooting today at USC.
That's what one of the students was saying.
They had the school on lockdown. I had to call my brother.
A teacher had described me as a breaking point of something, so they shut it down behind the teacher.
Supposedly
behind
there was
something
a shooting.
that went.
Supposedly there was a shooting that had the entire school on lockdown.
And Planned Parenthood.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
It was for sure on lockdown, and I was like,
everything over that way.
Of course, I'm nervous. My brother goes there, so I had to call him real quick. Where are you? I need to see your vitals
because
I need to know you alive. Are
you
okay? Hear your voice. Blink. Yeah, say all that stuff. I need everything. A signal. But he even answered the phone in class. He just said that they were on lockdown, so they figured it out, and then he let me know that he told me a couple hours later that everything was okay. That they thought they think it was a false alarm. So apparently it was a false alarm or whatever. But I don't know how it went from a shooting to a false alarm. But
right, here's my
apparently
thing.
That's what happened.
Here's my thing, everyone.
Here's her thing.
We've been talking about gun laws, right, in our country. We've been talking about all this stuff. So when is it going to be an issue for people to legally buy weapons and use them illegally?
At some point.
It's almost like if illegal weapons are in the hands of us, you know what I mean? Okay, it's a problem. It's an issue, But legal guns in the hands of others, it's amendment rights, it's bearing arms, it's standing your ground, it's self-defense, it's protection, it's all this stuff. But a gun in our hands is tragedy. We need to get it out of their hands quick. You know what I mean?
Because have one. That's rounds to shoot.
You get what I'm saying?
Well, no,
and
actually,
legally.
Okay, but actually, that's the remedy. So there's two remedies: either eradicate them completely from everybody, or give everybody a gun. You know what I'm saying? Allow everybody or more people to carry.
I say no shootouts.
Well, no, because it's not. So here it goes.
Okay.
Think of Arizona, which has the least
desert.
But hold on, they have the least amount of gun killings, right?
I need water.
But the most people carrying guns. Mm-hmm. So the majority of people in Arizona carry a gun. in their car on them visibly. The majority of
So
people.
you say people use guns because they feel like the other person won't have one.
But I'm just saying that's why it's up. Like if I think you got a gun, or the chances are you probably have a gun, the less likely I am to trip unnecessarily, or
Because we're going to have a shootout.
we both have a gun. You know what I'm saying? And I know that. You know what I'm saying? If I know you have
So
a
what's
gun,
the logic if we both don't have a gun?
okay, that's why I said either allow everybody to carry them, or like everybody carry them, or eradicate them completely.
Yeah, but I said no guns and you said no.
No. Well, she said something different. Like, I can't think exactly what she said, but yeah, I'm with nobody having a gun. I'm with that too. You know what I'm saying? But hell, I mean, if it's up to me, I take the guns from the police officer.
Monty Images says you need a gun to protect yourself.
That's because he got a gun.
No, I understand that. And I was actually thinking about, okay, maybe I should, get a gun, right? But I feel like if I have a gun, no different than when we think about the police officers, if I have this weapon,
Right.
that is going to be my first instinct to use that versus all other methods of trying to get out of the situation. Like, no, I'm going to...
We can't be trusted.
I'm going to go for the weapon. I just feel like if I know I have it, I feel like I might even...
That's first thought.
Get a little gassed up in a way like, look, I wish she would say something to me. You don't know what I got in. You know what I'm saying? You know how people
About to
are.
pop the trunk.
You get what
Let
I'm
her say
saying?
something.
Like Medea. You don't know what I got in this purse. You get what I'm
Gonna turn
saying?
Medea on somebody just because they really thought that they was about to play with you.
Yeah, Monty says things are going to get worse. So, I mean, hey.
But I mean, you think that. But if you go into a situation, and I understand his plight, but just period. Like if I know you have a gun, you're not going
less
to trip on
likely
you.
to trip.
It's just not going to happen. Like, I remember when I was in high school, young cat ran up on me and my best friend with a gun, but that's only because he knew we didn't have a gun.
So let's use that logic. Police, if we know that you have a gun, what'd you say?
If you said if police know we have a gun,
No. What did you just say? If you know I have a gun, then you're what?
less likely to trip.
Police, if you know that we know that you have a gun, then we're less likely to trip.
Correct.
Considering
We don't want to
that
get shot.
the circumstances that most people are trying to go home.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just thought I would use your logic.
But
to
in the case
share
of
that with-
but in the case of police, they know that we likely don't have a gun or don't have a reason to have a gun.
they likely know that they can get away with it.
Well, it's in the. I was talking about this with my friend the other day. Even just talking about the bylaws. Like if you, write a paper on multiculturalism, and was talking.
I'm surprised you know those words.
Okay, so and the bylaws over it or whatever, and then I was also talking to a friend who carries a gun, and we're talking about how built in it is, and I can't remember it verbatim, but it is some bona fide BS how it's structured for cops to get away, and even in the simple part of it, of the real or perceived threat. Now I'm talking about this with an armored truck guard, right? And he's like, just think about it. He was like, the cops can go by, or anybody carrying a weapon can go by real or perceived threat. He was like, now the cop has the ability to say, dang, if this guy, and think of this, what was the kid, the big kid with the hoodie that got killed?
Trayvon Martin.
He
was bigger than, not him, the other one, Freddie. I think it was Freddie Gray, the one, St. Louis. They said just
Michael Brown.
Yeah, Michael Brown. Whatever. So many of them. That's horrible.
Right. No, that's true. Now we
Man.
got to think about,
Right.
okay, wait, was it him? No, was it? No.
So literally, this gets a cop off the hook. Real or perceived threat. If I fight him with my fists and I lose and he knocks me out, he's going to kill me and other people.
He's going to do what?
Kill me and or other people. If I fight him and lose, like if he knocks me out. This
But
is the
why
cop.
would he kill you?
But I'm saying real or perceived threat.
But that's what I'm saying. Why is that even why is that on the table?
Okay, but
He's going to kill me with his bare hands and bite through my flesh?
But is it no? I'm just saying if you get into a fight with a dude, if he gets in a fight with a suspect, and the suspect knocks him out, he's
Right.
unconscious. So
Okay.
his gun can be taken. He can go kill other people, or he can shoot me. That's a perceived threat.
So I'm just curious, though, how likely, you tell me, if you got in a tussle with a police officer and you knocked him out, are you going to pick up the gun and shoot him?
Am I?
I'm asking you.
No, but I'm asking you, am I?
What?
No, but that. Okay, so now you follow the BS of how semantically arranged these laws are for them to get around
I'm personally confused.
So I'm just think about that. If you can go off and think about think about one of the biggest dangers that there are to cops, black people. So the minute that you see us,
we're a danger to everybody because we're too powerful.
That's my point. It's
Gotta
a perceived threat. So there's technically no real way to get around that part. Because the minute that he says, well, it was perceived, every part of the interaction is a perceived threat.
But see, this is my thing about what you're saying. How likely? I mean, there are people who are ignorant. Every color, ignorant. Mental health comes in every color. You get what I'm saying? So you can't look a certain way to know what mentally is going on with people. You can't do it based on just their history or whatever the case may be. Mental health affects everybody. So put that down on the table. Mm-hmm. How likely, and I really don't know, but this is me assuming that if a black man knows that he's in a situation with a cop, considering his situation, considering history, considering what odds he has against him, if he has an opportunity, he's going to fight with a cop, he's going to try and get away. I don't see him adding, or her, adding to the situation by, now I'm about to kill this cop, and when they find me and figure all this stuff out, I'm going to jail for life for killing a cop. Like, you get what I'm saying? If I know that you're a police officer, so no different than anybody from another culture can go back and forth and they can argue, right?
Right.
The police officer down. You're just using your right. Like, I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm going to argue with you. Am I going to, me, Akila Trinae, going to get out the car and try and fight you? No, I'm not. But I am going to try and, let you know what my situation is. Because I understand what the situation is. Right. Now, if it gets to that point, of course, everybody's going to protect themselves. Or if it came down to, okay, we're in a death battle, then you're trying to save your own life. But the likeliness for somebody to go out of their way to intentionally just kill you, knowing what their fate is going to be, I don't see that happening.
Okay, so so now you get where I'm coming from, where I'm writing this paper and we're talking about the culture, because we're talking about Jim Crow law, right? So most things, if you understand life, most things don't stop or end. They evolve. Most things that you want, it's illegal to do Jim Crow. So what's the next best thing? Well, but
it wasn't illegal.
It wasn't.
Initially.
I'm saying it wasn't. But when that happened, now the police department has replaced Jim Crow era, but it's just legal. So how do you build that in? Because it used to be legal to enslave people, and kill people for nothing, and lynch people. But now we can't do that.
Added that law.
Okay, so now you know what? So let's kill that. So now how we're going to do that? Now we introduce the law enforcement. Yep. Now let's go back to being systemic. Think of your
slavery.
Slave drivers.
Right. So if you live in your hood,
and catchers.
You live in the neighborhood, or you live in the ghetto, then you're not going to find anything good to eat. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a liquor store in every corner. You know what I'm saying? There's not going to be a lot of police protection. There's not going to be a lot of nice things to keep up. Everything is impoverished. So now, once you starving and you don't have a lot of good options, you turn to what you know. And if we all just stayed in this room just for 72 hours, we would go at it, with no real options. So think about the no real options that you have. So now, when you go based off of a real or perceived threat, well, that can take us back to Jim Crow laws, because guess what? Now I can kill you off legally. Because before I used to be able to hang and lynch you and do what I want to, but we can't do that no more.
Now I can just do that.
So how do we get around that? Right. So now that I give the license to kill, and it's based off of perceived, this is not about logic. This is about.
I know that. I'm just,
I mean, because of course we can definitely go that deep. Because, of course, a lot of things happen in, as they would say, like the black communities, is because we're given basically nothing, but you're told to survive. So now you have to to fight for the little bit that you do have. So now, of course, it's survival of the fittest. Well, I need this for maybe my kids or whatever the case may be. I need this for me. So I have to, if you're trying to invade my territory, you got to go. And that's just how it is. And when you put them in this situation, but then you expect them to come out of it with a good outcome, it's kind of like, it's just a super setup for failure.
Right. So that's why even when talking to my friend yesterday, it's important for us to not wallow in the systematic oppression. And when you get somebody that can get out, it's your duty almost to fight extra hard and make sure that as many people as you can save and change their mind. Like we took all of our kids to SC football practice constantly, every week, 7-8 times we were at SC. Mm-hmm. They began to understand life is different and life doesn't have to be like this.
Right.
We let them talk to the players. They realized that the players come from same places that they came from. All they had to do was work and not allow the BS to take them down or whatnot. So now, since they know what's on the other side of the 405 freeway, you know what I'm saying? They understand that, you know what? There's a better life for us. But a lot of people in our neighborhood don't understand that because they were either kids having kids, you know what I'm saying, uneducated, or, just didn't have enough belief. But as my friend pointed out, if immigrants can consistently come over here with nothing but a dream, you know what I'm saying, and no help and leave family at home and barely speak the language and then come and develop themselves, go to school, and then bring a whole family over, why can't black people that live here take care of themselves?
Mm-hmm. And why do we have to go to the other side to get it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that we also fought. Okay, because I went, you guys don't know, but over the weekend I went to Cancun.
I knew that.
And, okay, well, you know my life. And I love to travel. And one of the things that I find that's very interesting is our perception of other people in other countries is always like, oh, you know what I mean, sad. Okay, yes, there are people living in poverty, but then some people who are living in these impoverished countries and places, it's not that they're like miserable. Some of them are genuinely happy. Like they're living literally off the land. You know what I mean? Everything, the resources that they have and need, are not there. And I'm not talking about after disaster strikes and like people are left in a state or that,
not there.
But just people who don't live like us with these fancy cars and houses and things. Like sometimes we get so boggled down and so inundated with all of this stuff, materialistic
We're
things,
very spoiled,
that we feel like we need all of this stuff in order to be happy, in order to, live life to the fullest, in order to be successful. And I just feel like if we get back to just the simplest things, like what I started with when we talk about that whole love thing and just connecting with people and having those genuine experiences, that we'll be able to have more of the fullness of life versus trying to be satisfied by all this stuff. The man that shall remain nameless was rich. You know what I mean? He owned businesses. He had multiple properties. You get what I'm saying? Like, he was gambling with lots of money, chilling, can get this hotel room multiple times and figure out, like, okay, this is what I want to do with it. But all of a sudden, we don't know the motive, but life obviously can't be too great. You know what I'm saying? If you plan to take the lives of other people and then, of course, the life of yourself. But sometimes I feel like we build this fantasy about all of this stuff we need to accumulate, and then we add to the mental stress that we already have that we're not acknowledging. And then we're putting ourselves deeper. When we talk about all this deep stuff that we're going through, like, we put ourselves deeper. So no different than the man, woman who has millions of dollars, who is trying to take a knee, but the world is debating on whether or not they should, and, being grateful for what you have. Like, seriously? You know what I mean?
And you know what? Shout out to Monty Images, because he's definitely watching and supporting right now and giving us his comments and feedback. But like he said, honestly, a lot of African Americans are just lazy. Like we know these things, but there's it's like, okay, are we going to put forth the action to actually change it? We can talk about these things, but are we gonna do something about it? Have a voice.
Think
Use
about
your
it like
voice.
this, Miss Destiny. You're a graduate, right? You went to college? Mm-hmm. Okay, so because you're 25?
Mm-hmm. You're just giving up all my information. Okay, so do you need to know
Right.
anything else about me before we continue?
And you're in a relationship, right?
Oh my gosh, okay.
But when you like finished with school and all of that, what was your feeling? Did you feel like I've done all this work, I should be able to go into my career? Or were you thinking, you know what? I'm going to, whatever I can get, climb my way and get paid very minimal, and I'll be okay with that?
Honestly, I still have 21 credits left until I get my bachelor's.
Okay.
I did graduate with my associates, but I still don't have my bachelor's. And to tell you the truth, I lost all motivation to finish or to continue to go to school, because I really felt like it really wasn't teaching me anything about what I was going to need when I got out there. Mm-hmm. And because I lived up in San Bernardino, I just moved back down to LA last October. Mm-hmm. And I came back down here because I just felt like it really wasn't teaching me the things that I really needed at this time. I was struggling. I was trying to pay my own rent, all this other stuff. And I went back, but I felt like it wasn't for me. I felt like I had more of a purpose, more of a voice. And because I was starting to actually wake up and read these things that was really going on, and information that I would think that would be in my books that wasn't in my books, and I'm like, whoa, like there's really way other stuff going on, and I want to go out and I want to fulfill my purpose, because I know there's much more than that. So everything that I went through, and I can't tell people that school's for everybody, or I don't like to tell people, oh, go back and finish, because I don't think school's for everybody. And I think that
But where are you with what you feel like you deserve? Do you feel like you deserve anything?
I don't feel like I deserve anything, but I feel like I just work hard for what I get and what I do. So I don't have respect for me, I would say, but I don't feel like I deserve anything.
You say you don't have respect for yourself?
You don't have respect.
No, I'm saying have respect for just me as a person and what I do and my purpose and what I uphold. Period. But like, I don't feel like I deserve that. But I mean, I know that I work hard, so
but
I don't
someone
need that. I don't need that from anybody.
Interpret you and not achieving or reaching.
Of course, because I felt like I didn't have to finish school for that reason.
You didn't finish school, so you're lazy.
No, I'm not saying that, and I didn't say all people are lazy either, Akila.
No.
What I'm saying
she's saying somebody can draw that inference.
Yeah, of course they can, but that's the norm for us black people today, supposedly.
Well, anybody.
The lazy one or the one that's ignorant
are lazy.
Thank you, Monty.
Honest. So what I'm saying is I want to play devil's advocate, because I feel like, in a sense, that they're probably few. And I don't know, because I'm just making this up and I don't know numbers. Okay. But I really don't think that they're just a bunch of black people just sitting around. You know what I mean? Twiddling their
Actually,
thumbs.
I think there are.
I think
there's too many. I'm not going to say all. I'm not saying all, but I just think that like too many of us don't really use our voice and really try to put action to the voice. Or even if we know and we're sitting around and we're talking about it, are we going to go out and try to make the change for what it is that we're talking about?
Well, again, being devil's advocate, I feel like
this is fun. This is really fun.
I feel like that's a perception. You get what I'm saying? Because we really don't know what certain people are doing in the trenches. I'll put it like this.
I mean, that's true, but I just feel like if enough of us were doing more, there would be a lot more being changed. Going on.
Okay,
that's
so
my personal opinion.
there are stereotypes, right? When you think of, let's just say Hispanics, let's just say, right? That they're not lazy, right? They're hard workers. Why? Because they'll take any job, right?
Okay.
But I mean, but you get what I'm saying? Like, people will say that they're not lazy because they'll work any job, right? Let's go back to Insecure. Lawrence is not going to work any job. And that's where a lot of us fall into that category. A lot of us aren't going to do certain things because we feel like, I did this work here, And maybe
So
it was
I shouldn't have to
schoolwork.
put it in there.
Maybe it was reading. Maybe it was studying. Maybe it was trying to build a business. Maybe it was trying to do a T-shirt line. Maybe it was trying to be a rapper, or
Whatever it was.
practicing
Whatever
on
it
the
was.
fields
Whatever
or
it
whatever.
was.
Right? That I put in this time and this effort, and that this is what I want to do. So I should be able to get this particular thing, whatever it is.
Which they need
But
to stop that, because these degrees ain't giving you that job that you want these
But
days
listen,
whatsoever.
us, we look at this and we're like, you're just lazy. Like, you keep trying to do that. You know, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, being devil's advocate, we're
Just say
always
your
trying
opinion.
to put. No, I mean, it's not necessarily my opinion, but it's just another thought
It's another way of looking.
I mean, there's always going to be
that
so
we're
many
always
different
trying
views.
to put stipulations on what people are doing and then classify what is and what is not lazy. You get what I'm saying? Because you're not doing the work, or you're not doing X, Y, and Z. Because if you're doing X, Y, and Z, then you're not classified as lazy. But if you're doing this, you know what I mean? Because we always equate that with the success that you're achieving. And if you're not achieving success, then you can't be doing anything. Because how can you not have money when I'm working and I got money? You get what I'm saying? And I'm basing it off of what I've done in my experience and what I feel is work. To say, if I'm doing this, then you should. Because I honestly would say that if I were to characterize myself, I would say I'm lazy. I don't think that y'all would be like, you're not lazy. Like, you're always doing
Because we
something.
have higher expectations of ourselves within ourselves. I get that. I get what you're saying. But
No, but we
What's
as
the-
a culture don't have high expectations of ourselves.
So how are you
What we're
agreeing with me
looking-
and disagreeing with me?
Well, I'm saying we don't have high expectations of us. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you.
We don't. We
Me
down
being
talk
honest,
each other before
this-
somebody else
this
down
is
talks
trans-
us, but we want respect
this
from
is
everybody else.
transparency.
How are
Okay.
we going to get that
Hold on,
respect
hold
if we
on.
can't
This is
respect each other?
transparency.
Let's get
I
this
went to
straight.
Roscoe's yesterday. Bad day to go to Roscoe's on a Sunday. Everybody and their mama is not at
Shout out to
church.
you, Shaq.
They're at Roscoe's. I was coming back from my trip, so therefore I was being a heathen too, because I was at Roscoe's, not at church. But I'm sitting there, you know, and I just feel like everybody that walked through the door, you know, I had this instant thought of like what they were based on if the hair was combed or not combed, what they had on, what was going on. It was just instant, right? Just like what's going on? He pull up your pants. You got your booty out. She got her booty out. Hair ain't combed. They loud. Little girl eating chicken. You know, no plate, no napkin. You know what I mean? Just all these things that just come, right? Instant. It's just coming. And I'm like, again, but when I look at like maybe the white people, and it's like, dang, like why can't we, you know, it's almost that it's always that comparison type mentality. Like, why can't we? And it always makes you think like, well, why literally can't we be what we are and who we are and that just be okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as that, us having to look like what this main standard is and just being okay with that. You know what I mean? Because a lot
I
of
just
stuff.
feel like that. I don't know. That. Go ahead.
Just say it.
No,
finish.
no, we
I
waiting.
want you to finish
I'm
digging.
waiting. I'm trying to figure out what you got to say.
Finish digging.
I don't think
No,
she's digging. I'm just
not
saying.
No, I'm
digging.
saying, like, what you were
but
saying,
I want to know
like, let me-
what's on the
It's on your
lips,
brain.
teeth, tip of the tongue.
I
Spit it out.
I just feel like, first off, like, just because you might, like you're saying, basically when you walk into a room, those are things you might expect coming if you're looking at it, like walking into a room of a black family, right?
No,
On
I'm
the other
just saying
side.
us collectively. Or another example might be, I gave the example, I went to some kind of seat fill or something award show. And I just felt like collectively as a unit, we looked bad. You know what I mean? I was just like, dang, why, you know, because we're
And you feel like
so,
that's the normal.
because we're so unique about stuff. But what I'm saying is because of the way that we are, because it's so negative and those images are negative and we perpetuate those negative things that even when we look at ourselves, we see negativity or we see disgust. We see, oh, we got to get it together versus that just being, and I'm not talking about ignorance in a sense, but I'm just talking about like, just kind of the way like we are, that we carry ourselves. We're characters.
Are you talking about
We're,
decor?
I just feel like not all of us.
Like
my thing is not all of us carry ourselves like that, but the ones who do carry themselves in
It's
such a
seen as
respectable manner, or are educated,
Okay.
we're not the normal.
Okay.
There's something wrong with us.
Okay, but
the ones who
Sugar.
look like that, they're the normal black people.
Okay, Sugar, but let's not get into a habit of extracting one or two and then applying that to the norm like it isn't. So let's not take yourself, because you're not like that. You're not like the person that she described.
I'm not talking about myself.
Clearly, or the people that you know. But we're talking about the stereotype. Like, what she's talking about is how people are going to see us. Time out.
I know that.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if this is happening in numbers, right? Like, everything that you talk about, if it's happening in numbers, although we know that there are people out there, it's almost like the good men excuse, and I always tell her, like, I know plenty of good men, you know what I'm saying? But that's me extracting the people that I know versus the amount of ignorant black men that she's going to run into that won't approach her, or she's going to deal with in a manner that she like. You know what I'm saying? So when she says we look bad as a unit, it's because the majority of people that are going to see us are going to think the exact same thing, and most of it is about decorum, in the sense like not changing who you are, but knowing how to adapt in where you are in your settings. And we don't do that. A lot of times we are who we are no matter where we go. You know what I'm saying? And it might not be the setting for it. And it's almost like
just with that example, like if we go to a restaurant, right, and it's a white restaurant, or predominantly white people are at the restaurant, because how can you have a white restaurant? But anyway, and, they're kind of quiet, right? And they're just talking. They're within table range. They're using the inside voices or whatever. And you get a group of us at a table, and we're laughing and loud and having a good time and, buying our food no different than everybody else. And everybody's shh, you got to be quiet. Y'all can't be loud. Like, and I think to myself in those cases sometimes, like, why not? Like, all we're doing is having a good time. We're not fighting. We're not breaking anything. We're not, going and invading other people's spaces or whatever. Because guess what happens when it's somebody's birthday? All the restaurant people come in and sing happy birthday real loud and interrupt all of our meals. Maybe I didn't want to hear happy birthday, but it's the person's birthday and we got to listen to it because that is acceptable. But us laughing and having a good time is too much and it's too loud. But I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that those are the things that happen. And within those settings, we fall into the same thing. Like, no, we got to act right. We have to.
But to me, that's life. You know what I'm saying? That's no different than if you flip it and it's a whole bunch of black patrons and a white people come in. You got a whole bunch of people being loud or whatever, and the white people, they're kind of to themselves and recluse and using their inside voice for everybody, and you would look at them the same. Or let me give you another parallel.
I think we're a little more accepting.
Yeah. Well, no, we definitely are.
A lot more.
We definitely are, but we would look at it. But let me give you an example.
And we should continue to be nice.
Okay, well, let me give you an example where we're not so accepting. All right, white women. You know what I'm saying? White woman gets a butt. White woman goes and twerk.
White woman gets a butt.
I did want to talk about like the interracial.
But you know what I'm saying? So white woman gets thick, gets a butt, twerks, or goes Kim K, gets the man, the black dudes, you know what I'm saying? Chloe gets Tristan Thompson or whatever. And then it's like, oh, people love her for her shape when black women have been built like that. But because she is like that.
Wait, can I say something about that? I feel like the only reason most women, I'll speak for a lot of the women that I've had conversations with, majority. The only real issue with that is it's not necessarily an issue of you're dating her because she's shaped like that. That's dope. Whoever you like, love, whoever, that's who you love. But it's in the process, they want to bash the black woman and make that the reason for them being with another race or another woman. but trying to praise her curves, but then talk about a black woman being too curvy. You don't have to down talk us.
Well, that's my
to
point.
show appreciation for her.
But that's my point. If a white woman, to her point that she talked about earlier, if a white woman twerks and has ass, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit, look at her. If a black kid or a black person is smart, articulate, good credit, well-mannered, and has decorum, it's like, oh crap, it's a shock. You know what I'm saying? When all these things should just be things.
Right.
And to me, I was thinking about this the other day, and it was like the problem with us as a society is we have labels and we're all fighting to be the same through being different. So at the bottom line, feelings matter, but we've been categorized one way. You know what I'm saying? Women have been categorized one way. Women can't be sensitive. Women can't be tough. They have to be sensitive. Men have to be tough. They can't be sensitive. Men want to be allowed to be sensitive. Women want it to be okay to be tough. You know what I'm saying? And we fight with a whole bunch of stuff where we should just be people, where a lot of white people don't matter in their circle. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. You know what I'm saying? I was on the radio today. I was talking about Tom Petty and it was and his death.
R.I.P. to him.
Right, and they were just talking about musicians or people that are artistic, period. And it's like, you're winning in life if you can do what you love and pay the rent. Right? Now, in white culture, it doesn't matter what the white person is into, it's supported. It could be rap, it could be painting. It doesn't matter. It's just they're gonna identify what it is you like and they say, you know what, this is what I want to do, and they're gonna support that fully. And whether they make it or not, they still gonna be loved and supported as in the family. A lot of times in the black world,
almost all the time.
Yeah, it's
because African Americans are one of the number one consumers, but not of our own people.
And it's completely true. But the point is, we're all fighting to just be people. And I think in the black community, we're fighting to be people, especially in this day and age. But we don't have the systemic support.
We don't support each other
to do such a thing.
Do that.
So a guy comes up to you, you meet him, like everything in good conversation, and then that question comes. You know what I'm saying? So what do? You know what I'm saying? And he goes, I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, right? Now,
no, it's not cool.
Right? Which is cool. But then you get the few stories where it's like, oh, she supported me through my thick and thin, whatever, and they go through their big Sean story. You know what I'm saying? Now, this guy could not want to be a rapper and go work in sales to do what it is for the rest of his life and be completely unhappy. Now, the woman will respect it and love it, but he would be unhappy. So now in this day and age where women are understanding that, you know what, I can be whatever I want to be.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I need you to expound on that because I've heard that before as far as a man needing to follow and or go after that thing that he's passionate about in order to be happy. Because I think that's literally what you just said. Like he can go after he loves music and he goes after that, but that might not make him a lot of money, but he can go get the job that will make the money but be miserable in that process. So I just wanted you to kind of expound on that.
So Granny always said, do what you love and the money will follow. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what we all aspire to do. Now, if a woman loves security, then there's certain things that are going to get a woman security, which is money, right? Which is also a lie because the security is going to lie in the protection of her heart and the great part of a relationship.
Right.
So.
Right. Very true.
But
that part is overlooked.
It is, but mainly because of the shallowness of our culture when it comes to women. Now, although I would say this, women are a lot more accepting. Black women are a lot more accepting than white women. You know what I'm saying? White women are definitely out for the money. You know what I'm saying? Black women will accept you and give you a chance, but they still look down on certain things, in artistic situations. So a lot of reason why women struggle with being is because they don't allow themselves to get the best man that man can be, which has nothing to do with them.
So question.
Yeah.
How do you, as a woman who, yes, wants her man to be everything and
his
more.
best.
Right. So, because, a lot of the times that basically takes him, having to venture off a little bit. He got to go do certain things that could take away from that time. What is your advice to the woman who probably has a man who is about to be great, but she might have like, you know, like little. Oh, I feel like you know what I'm trying to say, but you don't want to help me.
I'm gonna let you say this first.
But like, basically, you do have a man who can be great, who's trying to be great, who wants to be great, and it could be being great for y'all, but she's kind of like letting her feelings not let. How do you basically let a man go be great, but still hold your man down without being on it? You know what I'm trying to say. Well, please help me out here.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna say, just reciprocate. Give him what you want him to give you. And I'll use this as an analogy, which I hope you understand. A lot of women want to be creative with their hair. A lot of women will grow their hair for a long time and then up and be like, I want to cut it. You know what I'm saying? And expect that man to be there and stand by them, even if that cut don't work, you know what I'm saying, or she looks funny or whatever the case may be.
About to determine this relationship, right?
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is,
y'all
take
shallow.
it. Yeah, but it's take it in stride. You know what I'm saying?
Shallow.
Whatever change,
shallow.
whatever a change a woman wants to go through is to take that in stride. The majority of men will do that. Why? Because he's not with you for security. The majority of men, any man that chooses you, he's with you because of you. So
say that again.
So
one more time.
The majority of men, when they choose you, they're with you because of you. It's not what you can provide for them. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Well, what I'm saying is, like, it's not monetary. It has nothing to do with your career success. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Even with like millionaires, athletes, like when they find a girl, it's because they know she gonna probably run up a bill or whatever, but nobody is gonna be there or get like them how will. Right. So to answer your question is, you have to like him for him regardless. I use this often with the example in Being Mary Jane and the dude that she loved, or even in Lawrence, but more so Being Mary Jane. She loved that dude. They got the greatest chemistry ever, and she knew that dude was for him, and he was on the verge. But for her, it was taking too long for him to become successful. Then he becomes a billionaire.
And some women just want too much time for their man.
But think about what you're saying. Just think about what you're saying. How long are you supposed to wait before your man becomes successful? You know what that sounds like?
I wasn't asking that.
Not you, but what I'm saying, the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how long are you supposed
She was talking about how to get him to greatness.
No, I was
how long are you supposed to hold your man down?
No, she's like, how do you get him to
it's be like, the because great? Like most women want so much time for their man, but he's obviously having to go out and go handle things, and maybe this is just a time where he just can't be around you a lot. He can't talk to you as much as you need him to. So you're like basically the advice to women on how to deal with just
join him,
relax. You know what I'm saying?
If permissible, join him.
And if you can't join him,
then you're supposed to understand.
Literally, beat him.
Look, sugar, if I'm with you, right, and you got this busy career, right, then I either have to. If I'm for you, I understand it. And if I can't do anything to help you, then I'm going to get you when I can and enjoy everything of that in between. Now, if I can help you, then I'm going to do everything in my power to help you along your career if that's what's keeping us from spending the most time apart. You know what I'm saying? So
you make men sound like they're all, straight.
They just gonna work.
They're clear-minded. They have all these wonderful intentions, but women, y'all got these high
standards. We can't get it together.
No. But here's what I'm saying: a man doesn't care about what it is you're doing. If he loves you, then he gonna rock with you and support it regardless, and he's gonna dive into that as much as he can, or just support it from afar. As a woman, just do the same thing, because if you love somebody, it doesn't matter what they doing. And if you love somebody, you're going to get enthralled in what they doing, because you're going to want them to be the best in that. You know what I'm saying? So if your dude is going to be an actor, then you out, like old boy said, she's helping him getting gigs and everything too. He wants to be a football player. You out there training with him. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be an artist or a rapper. You helping manage or getting him songs or helping booking him shows, whatever the case may be. But you're helping him. You know what I'm saying? And through helping, you get to spend time with him. And then if there are dividends to pay monetarily, then you get those. Other than that, you get the best time of your life with somebody that you love. And that's all you could really want, is to be and go through a journey with somebody.
So I was reading this book, or I'm reading this book. I'm not done with it yet, but it's called Love and Respect. Forgot the author. Sorry, guys. I'm forgetting authors tonight. But one of the things that it talked about that men really want is that what they call shoulder to shoulder, or what he coined as shoulder to shoulder friendship. You know what I mean? Where sometimes the man just wants the woman to be able to join him in whatever he's doing and just kind of just be there. She doesn't even necessarily have to say anything at certain times. It's just a matter of she's there and down and interested and in tune with whatever he got going on, because men actually want to spend, a lot of time with women, right? That they love and that they are enthralled by. They want to do that, but sometimes we can make that situation difficult because we want to get into that world and then make it our own and take control of it. Like, try and talk and do all this stuff. And they're like, no. Okay, I don't want to talk. I just want to, do whatever the thing is. So like you said, I guess if it's since we like to talk about Insecure a lot, it makes me think of season 1 when, what's his name? Was in the studio. Daniel's in the studio, and then Issa is there.
Issa.
You said Issa.
Issa, see,
I didn't do that. She did it.
No.
She did it.
No,
it's the wrong name.
No, my friend, she got me saying it, 'cause she was like, "Is it Issa or is it Issa?" And I was like, "It's Issa." But anyway, whatever. She was there in the studio with him, and they were kind of like vibing, but he was like in his zone. You know what I mean? And the fact that she was there and she was kind of like rapping with him, he's like, oh, okay, it's cool. Like, she's in my world. They're spending time together. It wasn't like necessarily like a date that they went to dinner, the movies, or anything like that. But they were kind of spending that shoulder to shoulder, like friendship, buddy time together. And that kind of helped with the overall vibe, that they turned into infidelity. Well, they're not married, so it wasn't infidelity.
Because, and the fact of the matter is, most men are lonely. They're either lonely or they
He said it.
He
said it. Most men are lonely.
Or they feel alone.
Okay, so let me just ask these guys real quick. Monty, DJ, elbowed up.
Don't get it twisted.
You guys, I just want to know, are most, what did you say? Most men are lonely?
Most men feel lonely. They feel alone in their journey.
Lonely in your journey. Is that true? Monty agrees. He said, I'm lonely.
So Monty, you would want a woman to just be there?
He's looking for love.
Oh, but you love it. So you don't want a woman to be there while you taking pictures and at your laptop editing stuff. You just want her to stay where she at?
He'd need her behind the camera, right? Or in front of the camera.
Oh, in front of the camera?
Whatever capacity he need her in, maybe she can book the gigs.
I got you elbowed up. Don't trip.
Okay, but I'm still trying to figure out, is that a yes? Does that mean yes, that men are lonely in the world? And what do y'all think about that shoulder to shoulder buddies?
No, it's true. Men look for the most authentic things, and most of those come in the most smallest things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to deal with white people, black people, corporate, hood, avoiding danger. Like, it's so much stuff you got to deal with in life. You just want somebody to come back to, relax, and chill with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lay in the
I hear
bed,
that a lot.
do whatever it is I want to do, and help grant me peace and serenity. Be my peace
Lord,
of mind.
grant me the serenity that I need.
And it's so hard.
Just don't get on my nerves so I can stay peaceful.
Well, that definitely goes both ways. But if I'm to get to know you, you know what I'm saying? Like, we already perceive a woman as some type of bill. Like, we know that she's going to get something out of us. Either she's going to get it out of us, or we're going to want to give it to her. You know what I'm saying? Period. We want to give her the world. But before we do that, we want to know that, she wants to be in our world. Like,
for you.
For us. And that's tailor-made.
So is that y'all holding back until you know that?
I'm glad you said that, because
that's what I want to know. That's how. That's how I feel sometimes. That men tend to literally hold back, like they're really not giving it their all, because they're like, well, let me figure out if she's all in first. And then it's like, at that point, is it a two-way street right now? Or am I riding on one side and I shouldn't be on this side until you figure out if there's even going to be two sides?
Elbowed Up said he want his woman to be on her grind as well. And we support each other.
And I feel like not enough men are willing to go be
And
shoulder to
Monty
shoulder
Images
with the
would
woman
love
in
to
their
have a
world, like
solid
we're willing to
female
go be in their world.
on his side.
I agree.
So
with that
why
too.
is it that if sometimes I need you to just have my back, I need you to come to my workplace and be in my world for a minute so I can take care of something, it's a struggle, or I got to fight you to do that, or you busy. You got stuff to handle. But if you need me to do that, why can't I be there to support you all of a sudden? Well, what? Wait a minute. So that don't work both ways?
It definitely works both ways. You know what I'm saying? So it should work both ways.
I don't think the world is
also,
created equal like that.
it also depends on the type of relationship that's had.
I don't think the world created equally. Like, it just don't work.
But what was your question again? The initial question before you went off on your tangent. Just
remind me.
What question are we talking about?
The one reason about what you, because you chimed in.
Because you was like, was that what I was about to ask?
Yeah.
Oh, because, okay, so what I was going to say was, shout out to your Instagram live or whatever live it is, Facebook. So we talked a little bit about mental time. We talked about mental
Don't do
health.
that.
I'm getting tongue-tied.
Got you.
So we talked a little bit about mental health. And we talked about men being lonely. And we talked about men having, the world on their shoulders and really having to go out and kind of face, the world and conquer it. And wanting a woman who chooses them for them.
Right.
In that process, though, I feel like sometimes it's hard to get to the core of who that man is, because he feels as though...
Oh, the holding back thing.
Right. So he feels as though when he has on that, mask or that shield or whatever, when he goes out into the world, that he doesn't necessarily always take that off when he comes home. So it makes it difficult for the woman at times to be able to kind of be that or see that or even connect with the essence of who men really are, because disconnected and really not necessarily open and kind of hiding that part, because again, when you open that part kind of comes with maybe sensitivity, because maybe there are areas where it would cause for you to be sensitive.
And it takes two to really get to that, just to that place where I feel like the real happiness or the real flourish or the growth or whatever it's called. But like, if you're basically, how I look at it is testing me
it
to
does
see
take time, but how
it does
do we
take
get
time.
to that
I
time?
get that, but understand how frustrating it can be for the woman to see, okay, I'm working with this man because I know it's going to take time. I got to get to the core of him, blah, blah, blah. But if he's not open to me doing that, or he's still not coming in the house with an open mind or an open heart to allow me to even at least touch that area or touch that part, how am I ever supposed to get there? Because then you're always going to feel like I'm not doing enough, or it's just not.
Well, it's,
nah,
okay.
She got to do a little bit more. I know there's more she could do.
Okay, so I actually
but are you working with me?
And I actually think it's I say, here you go again. I actually think it's the opposite. It's not that men are disconnected. They're very much so connected. So, and understand this.
Show me.
So understand this. And I'm going to leave with this. Anybody here watch Wags? Okay, so it's a show called Wives and Girlfriends, and it's like of athletes.
Oh.
And one guy says, married don't change nothing. He said, that's funny because once I proposed to my wife, she got more, my fiance, she got more bossy. Understand this. The nature of a woman is a facade. That's to us in our mind. So the very nature of a woman, like even in her, that has nothing to do with another man or whatever, is a facade. She's always putting on, literally, whether it's makeup, attitude, eyelashes, fake smile, whatever the case it is, a woman is just different. So you talked about what it is you have to do. First off, y'all have to be able to be natural. Y'all got to be able to be in and of the same habitat, the same space, same lifestyle, and be able to just be. A relationship is not a bartering tool. So I'm saying, so the minute that a man feels like what you're doing is in essence to get me and not because it's authentic because you're with me, then it's like, okay, it's almost like a girl that wants to be married. You know what I'm saying? And she's doing certain things to get married. Well, a lot of those things don't get you married because that has nothing to do with us. And a lot of women do things that they think are to get them married by a guy. And every guy that you want to get married to any guy, that is tailor made.
What if that's just her?
No, but
What if what she does is just her, and you just always assuming that she just trying to do this to get me?
Okay, but that's
like,
what
let it go.
That's okay, but listen to what I'm saying. Her being just her doesn't get you married. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get you committed to whatever it is that you desire. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a dude. If he doesn't do what you want, what you desire, or he doesn't make you happy in a certain way, you're not going to do it. The only thing is with men, from men to women, a lot of that stuff can happen through a process of doing things. You know what I'm saying? Buy flowers, be consistent, buy gifts, give good dick. A lot of that stuff can get you a woman hooked and sprung, like through that type of formula. Well, for a man, it's different. It's tailored and catered to where he's come from, what he's been through, and what another woman has done for him, along with his passions. So if you giving them great sex, and if you giving them great sex and cooking and cleaning or whatever, and you're not maybe the peace of mind part, like all that is cool, and you could be the cutest thing in the world. But if you're still not doing things that's tailor made to his heart, which in turn takes you actually knowing him through observation, which women always claim to do, but they don't. Women work by a formula that's not applicable to all men. Then you're never going to get married. Men are most of the time, men are waiting for a feeling. They're waiting for a feeling that says, irregardless, as if I strike out, I'm happy with my decision. I could marry her and we divorce and not make it, but I'm cool because she made me feel like none other. The majority of women that we come through pass through with so many facades, so many different games. You know what I'm saying? You got, and this is what women have to keep in mind. We've been hunting since probably 10 or 12. We've been looking and dealing with going after women only to get deeper with them, for them to be something completely different. And not because it was just them. If we can deal with that just being them, but more than likely because that they wanted something from us. So you was doing all of this just to get this. Then you have friends or people that you don't know. I mean, that you're not intimate with like that. And you understand the games that they play. So you understand that, you know what? A woman is really out here, like how you understand how a woman looks at you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she could either have my baby and be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? She can marry and just to be taken care of, or she could just want me as a perception. You know what I'm saying? If I take care of myself and I looked the part, you know what I'm saying? I have money and this, that, and the third, I'm attractive. And you have to understand that has nothing to do with that man. And he understands that. So if he takes care of his business, goes to school, gets a degree, you know what I'm saying, is the CEO of a company, of course, those are attractive things. But most women won't get past that. You know what I'm saying? If a man has a nice car, most women won't get past that. Clean shoes, won't get past that. It gets them in the door, but they never get past that. They understand that he's on my arm. He knows what he looks like to another woman. He understands that he's just a shiny tool. That has nothing to do with that man, even if you are giving him the best sex and you there every day. You know what I'm saying? So if he's a rapper and you're not doing anything that has to deal with him, that makes him feel like, you know what, she's really down for me, and that has to deal with him. He has to see that. Not what you think. Right. That's true. Not what some other woman or your mama told you this is what you're supposed to do. Because a lot of women have a bad habit of doing stuff that every woman will do, trying to make themselves different. And that's the dumbest thing in the world to me. That's deep. And it's the stupidest thing. That's deep. So when women the same thing. So
trying to be different.
Is it over?
Wait. Let me say this.
It's over.
Shout out to Jay Jonah. He said, "Let's call apples apples. Men naturally date up. The biggest problem is that we become complacent or will linger with someone that's not necessarily an up once we get to know them."
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
I heard that. I didn't hear the ending part.
Okay, I'm gonna read it again. He said, last part. I'll just read it. Let's call apples apples. Men naturally date up. The biggest problem is that we become complacent or will linger with someone that's not necessarily an up once we get to know them.
It's very true. It's very true. Men are creatures of habit. And once they get in so deep, men respect their time in which they've put in. So it's like,
really?
So it's like, yeah, that's all men care about is their time for the most part. You know what I'm saying? What work have I done? You know what I'm saying? And so like you get with somebody, you put in on time, it's like, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? I can deal with this. You know what I'm saying? I know what to expect. I put a lot of work in this, although it may not be what I want. And I know exactly what she's not. I know what she is and I know what I'm going to get. So I'm good here. You know what I'm saying? Because to do all that starting over, like, we're just not built to start over. Because in our time that's invested comes with our emotions. Some part of it that we've given that is just hard to get back to if we started over. So it's cool. Like, we can fall down, break our arm. We can do that shit all day. You know what I'm saying? We can recover, get back up on that horse. But having to get back emotionally involved with somebody is hard. So we end up with a lot of lower apples.
So then she starts to feel as if he isn't opening up, but he basically deemed it pointless for the most part since he doesn't really see a future being with her.
True.
Y'all
Again.
some cold
ready to
cats. Y'all
I'm ready to go.
cold cats out here in this world. Goodness gracious. But yeah, so I just want to wait. You know what's crazy is I'm sitting up here trying to scroll on Instagram Live on my laptop. But like, I'm like,
and give me the phone.
why is it not going up? Wait, here you go. Here you go, y'all. That's Sugarfoot. Just in case you want to know whose face was in your face.
Yeah, because Sugarfoot want to see these comments too.
Right. Like people, they was going in. We appreciate everybody who has been a part of the conversation. So in kind of like our closing kind of wrap up, we were talking about, of course, the things that were that transpired yesterday. Again, I said that man shall remain nameless. Why? Because he doesn't get to have a platform. You know what I mean? You don't get to be famous and all of that. But we definitely send our thoughts and our prayers out to, again, the victims, the families, friends, loved ones of those who lost and or were injured, and praying for those for recovery. I know they mentioned on CNN that there's still about 40 individuals that are in the trauma center waiting to, in critical condition. So definitely, like I said before, keeping them in our prayers. Let's keep the conversation going about race relations and just issues in our country, because right now people are talking about it. So this is a perfect time to, engage in those dialogues. Excuse me. I wouldn't say delete those people on your Facebook that disagree with you, because disagreement and all of that stuff is good. So you know where people's minds are, you know where their hearts are. When you delete them and you begin to have a conversation with everyone who agrees with you, you don't get to expand your own knowledge and mind and horizons. You begin to just sing to the choir.
All day. With no eventually.
So.
I feel you. And shout out to CBS for firing that lady. There's a lady who tweeted that she had no empathy for what happened in Vegas because most people that go to country concerts are Republican.
Okay, so let's give our final thoughts, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so because that lady crazy, but you made me forget by just saying that. My bad. But anyways, I'll just end the night by saying I think tonight was a great show. Deep stuff, very deep stuff. Once again, prayers out to everyone in Vegas, and everybody just be safe. Be safe, be mindful, and find your purpose. And whatever that purpose is, no matter what anybody says, pursue that purpose and just figure out you. Spend time with you too, because that's okay. And yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things to check out in your free time. Again, Netflix, the Khalif Browder
yes, please.
Documentary. Check that out. It is deep. It's very heavy. So, just letting you know that in advance. I'm still watching it. The Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary special is also on Netflix. I was there, so you may see me in the audience. Okay, you paused me. Well, I guess I'm gone there. So anyway, check it out. It's also on Netflix. And then if you get a chance to pick up a book, you can go to Amazon.com and pick up Beyond the Hurt. Oh, Felicia's good.
Yes.
That's what's up. Well, again, shout out to people in Vegas.
He said shout out.
I mean, not shout out, but that's
you
know what I'm trying to say. But my condolences. You know what I'm saying, and I hope that people here heal well from that. Don't judge and want to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? Is all I can say. And then on top of that, to the stuff that's earlier, we got to be the ones to break the system. We can't accept what's happening if we ever want to change what's happening. And so if you know what's out there and you're different and you're making it, then show somebody else how to make it. And men, don't be afraid to say I love you. Women, don't be afraid to say I appreciate you. And that's that, from Love Sessions. This is Sugar, Akila Trine, the Poetess in the back. Don't get no better. Dance Hustle, we missed you. I am Dontrell Detroit. See you next Monday. Yeah.